There was a man who had 2 sons. Yes, there was. Jesus tells a story about our family that is not very flattering. There was a man who had 2 sons, is how he starts it. Maybe you know it? It's quite a story. There was a man who had 2 sons.
Jesus told the story famously known as the prodigal son. It is usually assumed that this is a parable, but it could easily be based on a real-life family. Its themes are familiar to families in any time and place.
You might remember Cana. Jesus and his family attended a wedding there. That's my hometown. It's a small village about 4 miles from Jesus' hometown of Nazareth. He knew nearly everyone who lived in Cana. They still talk about the time he turned water into wine at the wedding. I wasn't there to see it. I was working in our fields. I am the hardworking, responsible son. My younger brother, not so much. I started out as an only child for about 10 years. Then my mother brought us good news. After years of trying, she was finally pregnant. My father was he ever happy. All parents wanted to have as many children as they could. Children were considered blessings. Me? Oh, not so happy. I was the center of attention of both my mother and father, and I was quite content with that. The more excited with the pregnancy they became, the harder I worked to prove I was all that they needed. I could not work hard enough. My mother's pregnancy went smoothly at first, and one morning she started feeling badly. Debilitating headaches, severe back pain, bleeding. The village midwife put her on total bed rest, and the servants and I attended to her every need. I stayed by her bedside when I wasn't working. My father spent as much time as he could with her. He held her hand, prayed to the God of Abraham for her to have a healthy child like Abraham and Sarah had. A few weeks before she was due, my mother woke up screaming. Screams that were heard throughout the village. The midwife came running. Hours later, drenched in sweat, my mother delivered a smallish boy. He lived. She didn't. I resented my little brother from the moment he was born. My father, just the opposite. He doted on the little boy from daylight to dark. He didn't exactly ignore me, but it was clear who was the center of attention. There was a man who had 2 sons. Yes, there was. The years go by. Not much changes. I work harder and harder, yes, to get my father's approval. He loves me, but not as much as he loves my brother. Joseph's brothers must have felt this way. My brother never gets a coat of many colors, but he is the golden child. Fast forward many years, and I come in from working in the fields one day and find my father in tears. My little brother, stoic. My father pleading with my brother. This is unthinkable, unconscionable. It's humiliating. Fathers call the shots. Sons obey or pay the consequences. It's respect. It's how it's done. It's God's law. When I find out the topic of discussion, I go ballistic. In my village, inheritance laws are very clear. When a father dies, all property is split among his legitimate sons. The eldest son gets a double portion. He will be the one responsible for the entire estate. He gets more resources to do the job. In our family's case, when my father dies, I will get 2/3 and my spoiled brother will get 1/3. Prior to my father's death, both of us are supposed to work equally hard to grow the family's wealth. It's the rule, it's how it works. Now my brother has come to my father and demanded that he split the property now, before my father's death. This is the same as wishing that my father is dead. And I know that if the village elders hear of this demand, they will want to stone my brother for his disrespect. I think that this is a pretty good idea. My father begs my brother to change his mind. My brother gets angrier and more insistent. My father loves my brother so much that he finally relents. He gives him what he wants. Oh, he knows my brother deserves death. In fairness to my father, he gives just the customary 1/3 of the estate to my brother. Prodigal. It means to spend money recklessly or lavishly. Who's really the prodigal? Money and love spent recklessly, lavishly, inexcusably. Over the next few days, my brother sells the objects given to him for whatever price he can get. I want to kill him, but I can't. He has taken his money and left town, without even saying goodbye to the father who loves him, I might add. The father he has humiliated. It's embarrassing. My father's humiliation is greater than his former wealth. To my father's credit, he does not humiliate me by openly wishing my brother to change his mind and come home. He knows that I own all the property now, and this is no longer my brother's home. It is no longer my brother's village. My brother has made himself an outcast. There was a man who had 2 sons. Yes, there was. My brother sends no word home. None. We are dead to him. We hear rumors that he lives far away and he's living a life of decadence. Friends and prostitutes party with him all the time, using his money. Then the rumors stop. We know nothing about him. Don't even know if he is alive. Finally, my tortured father can't stand it any longer. He pays a young man of our village to find out the fate of my brother. Oh, but he ran out of money and all of his friends abandoned him. My brother is working for a pig farmer who won't even let him eat the pig's food. Nothing could be more humiliating for a Jew. Rather than crushing my father, this news brings him hope. He knows that some people have to hit rock bottom before they can really change their ways. From that day on, you know what he does? He watches the eastern road from my property. Watches. Days and days go by and he watches. One afternoon, my father spots a figure slowly walking toward my property. Even from a distance, he recognizes the walk. In another act of humiliation, he gathers up his robes and runs to meet my brother. My brother starts to give a rehearsed speech about not deserving to be a son, and if he could only be a servant. My father doesn't even let him finish. He commands the servants to bring an expensive robe, sandals, a ring for my brother. He commands them to kill the choicest calf so a party can be held in his honor. My son was dead, but now he is alive, he shouts. My son was lost, but now he is found. They hug. My brother knows all is forgiven. My prodigal father. Prodigal with my stuff. After a hard day of working in the fields, I return to my house. I hear shouting and music. What could possibly be going on? A servant tells me the story in great detail. My worst fears have come true. My worthless brother has returned and my embarrassment of a father has forgiven him. Worse, my father has forgiven him and is honoring him. He humiliated my father, and my father has forgiven him. In the process, I am humiliated. There was a man who had 2 sons. Yes, there was. My father has placed me in a horrible dilemma. I cannot go into my own house without honoring my brother, and I cannot stay outside without dishonoring my father. I choose the lesser of two evils. I stay outside. Besides, my father doesn't seem to mind being humiliated. My absence is so conspicuous that my father comes to me, begs me to come in the house. I've obeyed you all of these years. I've worked so hard my entire life to make you proud of me. You never gave a party for me. But this son of yours, who killed your wife, who wasted your money on prostitutes, who defamed our family name, comes home. You throw him a giant party? I have to get away from my brother and my father. I stalk off behind the barns to be alone. I recognize the sound of my father's walk, the halting walk of an old man. I don't give him the respect of turning to face him. My son, you are always with me, and everything belongs to you. But we had to celebrate. Your brother who was dead is alive. He was lost, but now he is found. Jesus ends his story here. The audience is always amazed. Jesus is clearly comparing the Father in the story to God. Jesus is saying that God so badly wants to be reconciled to his wayward children that he is willing to be humiliated for it to happen, and willing to celebrate his lost ones coming home no matter what the lost ones did while they were lost. Jesus declares a level of grace and forgiveness from God that shocks his audience. Well, that may be good for God, and it may be good for my father, but not for me. I have been humiliated, and my family has been humiliated. I am not willing to forgive my brother. Let him live in my house. Even if it destroys me, I am not willing to forgive him. My father stands behind me now, quietly, waiting for my response. I feel his presence. I just walk away. There was a man who had 2 sons. Yes, there was.